men that go to Thailand kind of need that kind of reality. It's like, okay, you're there, okay? You go to a bar, okay, you're looking for a woman in the red light district, let's say, okay? You go to a bar, you're gonna pay her. That's okay. If she loved you, if she thought you were a sexy man, if she thought you were so handsome and all these things, you wouldn't have to pay her. But you do. You want to see how sexy, what a sexy man you are, and how good looking you are, and how big you are, and all these other things that she says. Tell her you're not going to pay her. You want it for free. See how far that goes. No, it won't work. And that's the thing. That's reality. So while you're in Pattaya, while you're in Thailand, there is a huge market for fantasy, but you have to keep a hold of reality, okay? If you're over 35 years old, okay, you're not sexy man anymore, okay? You're a middle-aged guy, no one said, oh my, oh, I grew up on a marry a middle-aged guy. No, okay? So while you can enjoy the fantasy, while it's nice having a woman tell you how handsome you are, and so I think some women, if you go out with a bar girl more than once or twice, and you take care of yourself, and she says you're a handsome man, that's a nice compliment. Don't let it go to your head. But if you take care of yourself, you comb your hair, you wear decent clothes, you don't smell like a cigarette. To her, you are a handsome man because you're taking care of yourself. And that, as you get older, is about as good as you can get. You're not going to be, they're not going to be confusing you with Brad Pitt or anyone like that. You're an old guy, but you can be a presentable old guy. So, but that's the thing. When I think so many times, men, it's like women are prone to lay it on thick and give you compliments and everything else, because whether it's the money they're looking for, or if they're not the classic mooch or gold digger kind of woman wanting money, they see you as an easier life. A lady made this comment to me the other day, to where I told her she works really hard. And I won't say what her profession is, because if she ever saw this, I don't want her to know it's her I'm talking about. But she works at a very honorable profession. At this honorable profession, you can work a lot of overtime if you want to. And she does, because she always says, oh, want money, more money, more money. And she never asked for a thing. I told her, I said, what are you going to do? I said, if I come here to stay with you, or you come to stay with me, I'll never see you. No spending time together, no making babies, no nothing. And, she said, no. She said, if I lived with you, she said, I'd quit working so much. And so I'd stay and take care of you. And so even though that's not a classic gold digger moocher thing, people by nature, especially from a poor country, see you and they think about the ways, at the very best, they think about the ways you're going to make their life easy. They're not sizing you up and saying, oh, you're going to build my mom and dad a new home. You're going to buy me, my brother a new scooter. You're going to put my sister through university. But in a way, they're looking and thinking it would be easier to achieve those things if I had a man who, would help me, because even if you're paying half the rent, that's more money that she can send home to her family or whatever. So with these things, I think that men get way too involved with the flattery, with the, it is. And it is nice to hear. I'm as big a, I appreciate that as much as any man. When a woman says, oh, you're so sexy, you're such a handsome man. And because every man has an ego, no matter how old he is. And it's nice to have that ego stroked every so often. But, when you have to keep it in line. You can't go crazy because you're thinking, oh, this is the girl, this is the one. She's different. And use all those stupid cliches about people trying to sell themselves on a girl they know they shouldn't be with but want to be with. Okay, and that's what a bar girl is. She's the girl that you know it's stupid to become involved with. Okay, just the line of work she is in, all the stories you hear about the gold diggers and the moochers, and all these men losing everything. You shouldn't get involved, but you come up and you know all the stupid things that you try to convince yourself of to get involved, and you shouldn't. Okay, one of the I told the story in a couple of videos back. When I was younger, I worked at a bar restaurant, and there was this lady. She's a very nice lady. There was nothing wrong with her. She was like most people. She, you know, was a server and didn't make enough. So she discovered a way that in this bar restaurant that every guy knew that for a $25 tip, she would give you the hug of a lifetime. Okay. The man could stand up and hug her. He could sit down and have big boobs in her face, but she was incredibly busty. Probably one of the most busty women I've ever seen. And so these old guys, you know, sometimes they'd even line up, you know, waiting for their opportunity. And for a $25 tip, they'd sit down or stand up and get the hug of a lifetime. Okay. But one of the things I was saddened for her. I was just like, for the men, I was just like, they're pathetic. It's like, come on, $25 and you're hugging a woman, you know, not a naked woman, a woman fully clothed that's showing her cleavage, and you're going to hug her for a minute or whatever. And it was just like so disappointing. But the one thing I will say is that I did have respect in the fact that, you know, a lot of times where I lose my respect for some ladies in Thailand is the, you know, the lingering thing, the gold digger plays and things like that. The one thing that the $25 hug lady had, it was a simple, honest transaction. Okay, whatever your morality is, don't care. But it was an honest transaction. The man knew he was spending $25. She knew she was getting $25 for a hug. She didn't want him to give her more money. She didn't want him to, you know, fund her family or put her daughter through school or anything else. She wanted $25 for a simple hug. Well, not so simple, but anyways, a hug. And he spent $25 to get a hug. Whether you like it or hate it, it was an honest, simple transaction. And one of the things in Thailand you have to be much more cautious of is the subtle things that go on for kind of a lingering transaction. Okay, you go into a bar, you meet a girl, you buy her drinks, you bar fight her, you take her back to your hotel, you have an evening together next day. Okay, here is where the pivotal point is, to where some men will be smart. You know, they say goodbye first thing in the morning. She doesn't have his phone number. He doesn't have hers. Because if he's lonely and thinking about it, he'll call her and start talking, and he'll go to the bar, and then the whole thing will start all over again, and more feelings will develop. Okay? One time. That's it. One time, one bar, one girl, one night. If you want another date with another woman, then go to another bar, and there's hundreds of them out there, and they all need business. So spread your love around, literally. Don't go back to the same bar. Don't get the girl's phone number or give her yours to start up a conversation. Because if you use the one bar, one girl, one night strategy, you don't give her an opportunity to turn into a gold digger. Because on the first night, you know, you've paid her, you've had a really nice night. She's hoping it'll continue to where you have more feelings for her, and it'll develop into something else, like you giving her more money or helping her more. So one night, one girl, one bar. That's, no phone numbers, no second nights, no third nights, one night. Because that is a smart way to keep things in check. Now, some girls will say, oh, you're a butterfly. You have many women, you go from woman to woman. And it's like, really? It's like a bar girl who meets a different man every 2 hours, hour, whatever, who goes home with a different man every day, is calling me a butterfly because I don't develop a relationship with a bar girl and keep going back to her time after time after time. While she goes out with any man she wants over, whoever walks in the door. So, you have to realize that when people tell you things and they're making money from telling you things, you have to question them. You have to not lose your head. If there is a woman, whether it's the big boob girl or Flo or a stripper who's saying, "Oh, darling, you're the most handsome man alive," they're looking for a tip. It's a very nice gesture. It's kind of a game we play here in the West, to where Flo will come up with a new little thing every time she sees you at the diner or at the restaurant she works or whatever. Oh, you just get better looking every day. She'll say something, and it's kind of cute. She's got the attitude and everything else. She's buttering you up for a bigger tip. It's cute, okay? Everyone knows their roles. No one gets out of line. You're not thinking you're going to live with Flo your whole life. She's not thinking you're going to pay to raise her kids and build her a new house, okay? No one has false expectations. You simply give her a $10 tip. If she comes up a really new one, a really good one, might even go $12, okay? But you're not going to be ridiculous. You're not going to become a sponsor and support Flo, okay? Same with the boob lady. No one's going to get out of hand and talk about sponsorship if she gives up her boob job, her boob hugs at work, okay? No one's going to become her sponsor and send her money every month, so she will just be theirs, okay? That's the main difference, and I don't understand why so many men go to Thailand. Actually, I do. I say I don't understand. I don't understand it from my perspective, because I look at women. I've seen beautiful women in America. I live in California. There's beautiful women everywhere, okay? But I've spent time with beautiful women. I was married to a beautiful woman. And dealing with beautiful women and their attitudes and their personalities, not all of them. I have met some very beautiful women that have absolutely shocked me, because they were as beautiful on the inside as they were on the outside. They were very sweet, very caring people, and they were just stunning. And unfortunately, every one of them that I've ever seen is married, because some man along the way saw what a gem she was and married her to, have her in his life forever. And hopefully he appreciates her, because it is a rarity when you see a beautiful woman that is just sweet and kind. And I think that's the big thing about Thailand, is there's so many more women who have both of those qualities. They're very attractive, that you look at them and they just are beautiful, and they're very sweet on the inside. And then again, you have to remember there are those that just know how to portray their sweet on the inside. Really, they're they know how. That's what I always used to say when I was dating. I'm not looking for a woman who knows how to be nice. I'm looking for a woman who is nice, because there's a difference. Most women know how to be nice. They know how to switch that little switch on and, be so sweet and everything else. But then when no one's looking, the switch comes off and it's, Satan's sister. So you have to realize that in Thailand, a lot of women know how to be nice. They know how to stroke a man's ego. They know how to put you in a place to where they can get the most out of you, whether it's through tips or donations or sponsorship or trips to back to see the family to where you're going to be committed to do things, whatever it is, okay? They know how to get you in the most receptive mood for those kind of activities. So don't fall for it. Realize this, every time you look at her and she's saying, sexy man, think of Flo saying, darling, you're so good looking. Okay? It's the same thing. Okay? Don't fall for it. It's the same thing. It's not their fault for trying. I don't blame Flo in the US for trying to up her tip by calling you darling, you're so good looking. I don't blame a Thai lady for saying sexy man or, sexy man, come buy me a drink, That's their job. And realize it's just a job. It's not, she's not looking to be your wife. She's not looking to be your girlfriend. She wants your money. And not in a bad way. That's her job. It's just like Flo. She wants your money. It's just like the boob girl. She wants your money. So look at it for what it is. Don't make it more than what it is. Next time some woman says sexy man, go, thank you. Or yeah, right. Because that's the difference, I think, between you and me. And if you fall for have fallen for some of the bar girl things, when a woman tells me that, I just, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, right, I'm so big. Yeah, I'm a real porn star. And it's like, whatever it is that is this compliment, you have to ask, is it something, to where she's holding your hand and you're dating a woman and been with her for a month and she looks at you in the eye and says, you have a nice heart. Okay. Where you go with that, that's a feeling that's come from feelings, true feelings. You have a nice heart. It doesn't butter you up. It doesn't, make you think you inflate your ego or anything else. It just means that she feels like you're a nice person. And she told you. And those kind of compliments really have an effect on me because it lets me know that the person likes me and cares about me like I care about them. So learn how not to, be a Western man and just follow everything. Be like Alan in 2.5 Men. I'm not buying it. And that's what you have to do. Make a joke out of it. When somebody says sexy man, say, I'm not buying it. That wasn't genuine. Come on, try again. And, make fun of it a little bit. And then she knows that because so many men just, oh, I'm sexy man. No, say, oh, that was bad. Try again. I didn't think, I don't feel like I'm sexy man. Try harder. Have more, have more of a sincere tone. And play with them a little bit. They get a kick out of when that they're blowing smoke up your skirt and they know it, they get a kick out of it and think it's funny. But don't be the guy that falls for it. So especially when you're in if you're dating a woman who never has asked you for money, you've dated her 6 months, she's never asked you for money, she's never asked you to buy her family anything, she's never asked you to buy her children anything, then she gives you a compliment. I would say I would look at it 50%. 50% it could be real. So what can I say? I've dated enough women to where I don't give in that easy. There's always some reluctance to accept too much as real, because it is. You have to have, in a country like Thailand, where there's so many motivating factors for women to get a Western man, you have to question when you hear something. You have to have some doubt. It's like you can't just, oh, she thinks I'm sexy. She thinks I'm handsome. She loves me. Give me a break. So, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. The channel's growing. We get a lot more subscribers, a lot more comments for the videos. I love hearing. If you have comments about the videos, good or bad, tell me. If you want me to go outside, if you want me to do different things. I have come up with this because, I'm not I don't know, so many times people are kind of going over what they're walking through a certain place, talking about a certain place, which makes sense. I'm talking about kind of ideas and things. So I kind of like the background being static so you can pay attention to what I'm saying rather than watching the hot girl walk by me on, whatever. So if you like I said, like and subscribe. If you have any questions about my book, it's available at Amazon.com. I wish you luck. Don't be a gullible Western man. Kind of, question if there's a way that she can benefit by complimenting you, then that's probably what she's doing. So smile, let it make you feel good for a second and go on. It doesn't mean she's going to be your wife or girlfriend. It doesn't mean she's yours because it's probably just your turn. So good luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.